In this next section on strength training, I'm going to cover why the endurance athlete should be doing strength training, and if there's a tendency to avoid one area as the weather gets nice, don't do your strength training. Real bad idea. And I'm going to share some of the reasons why you should be continuing to do strength training throughout the whole year, even up to your last competition. And I'll use two of the greatest athletes ever that I had an opportunity to coach. Chrissy Wellington, Craig Alexander were asymmetrical, out of balance, had one dominant side, one weak side, but one thing that they did is that they developed equality on both sides, they developed that balance and symmetry, and they did their strength training all the way up to their Ironman victories. So take a look at this video, and I hope it helps you out and convinces you to maintain your strength training throughout the whole year. Number one, when you do strength training, you increase your range of motion. And that range of motion, because you're going to the nth point of the range of motion with tension, you can actually increase the suppleness of the connective tissue. So everything that is pliable, that moves, your fascia, connective tissue, tendons, muscles, they all have pliability. And when you do strength training, you can actually increase the range of motion. And this is vital for your shoulders, your thoracic spine, and your hips, the big three, but you can also gain the benefit in your calves as well for running. So when you're thinking of strength training, it's not just garnering the strength. Number two is that you actually increase muscle tension. What does that mean? If we increase muscle tension, we increase the innervation of the faster muscle fibers, and they can assist the slower ones, which endurance athletes predominantly use, but we rely on these fast twitch ones. So the fast twitch 2A, the fast twitch 2X, which are the super fast ones, and the 2B, the super fast ones, are all innervated depending on the type of resistance training that you do. So why is this important? If we're always relying on our slow twitch fibers, we don't have the capacity to generate what I call sustained strength or muscular endurance, and we certainly don't have the capacity to increase our output. If our muscles are more adaptive, and we can call on particularly the 2A fibers that have a contractile force about 5 times what the slow twitch ones are, and we use those in the race, boy oh boy, we can save those slow twitch, we can ultimately go faster. So increasing muscle tension is a great way to do this. Number three, how do you do this? I mentioned that you can go slow movement or you can go fast movement. Now the faster movement generally innervates the faster twitch fibers. So if I get this all the time, oh, I'm an endurance athlete, I'm going to do 150 repetitions of this. No, you're better off increasing muscle tension by reducing the number of reps, and I mentioned this before, between about 8 to 15 reps. So increase the load, go to hardy fatigue. In combination with those first three, number four is that you increase mitochondrial density and functionality. So what's all that gobbledygook mean? Mitochondria are the energy organelles. They provide ATP. And when you do strength training, particularly as you get closer to this season, during this season, it actually enhances the functionality and density of those mitochondria. This is gigantic. Number five, you increase the post-metabolic burn. So what does that mean? Exercise post-oxygen consumption, EPOC. That goes up by increasing high-intensity interval training, and in combination with strength training, you really get a rapid increase in your metabolic output, and this is gigantic. So people that are trying to burn fat, this is an easy way to do it by maintaining the strength training. Lastly, you'll increase lean muscle mass in combination with all the variables that I talked about. And there's a term that I use in Boulder. A lot of people here, endurance athletes, are skinny fat. Boy, I've got my same high school weight, I look the same, but they actually lose lean muscle tissue. And we see this happening over time. So a lot of athletes that are in their mid to late 20s, certainly 30s and 40s, can have the same high school weight. They've lost 1 to 2% of their lean muscle mass, and they wonder why they're vulnerable for injuries. The last one is you're preventing injuries. And quite often we do strength training when we have an injury. Don't wait. Think of those reasons that you should be doing it, maintain that all the way up to your top races, and you're going to perform better.